Learning English doesn't always mean memorizing long vocabulary lists or doing boring grammar drills. Sometimes, the best way to improve is to just enjoy a good story. That's the magic of storytelling. It helps you learn real English, naturally. You hear how sentences flow, how words connect, and you start thinking in English without even realizing it. So before we jump into today's story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to SpeakReal, and turn on the bell so you never miss a chance to learn through an exciting and true-to-life story. Today's tale is about a guy named Ethan, who had what he thought would be a normal sightseeing day in Toronto, until he lost his phone at the top of the CN Tower and spent the rest of the day turning the entire place upside down. Ethan had always dreamed of visiting Canada, and Toronto was high on his list. On his second day in the city, he decided to visit one of its most iconic landmarks, the CN Tower. That morning, he took the subway, grabbed a coffee, and walked through the busy downtown streets until the massive structure came into view. It looked even taller in person. He was excited, not just for the view, but also for the photos. Ethan loved photography. His phone was filled with pictures from every trip he had ever taken. But this time, something was about to go very, very wrong. He took the elevator up to the observation deck. As it climbed, he felt the pressure in his ears. When the doors opened, he stepped out into a bright, glass-filled space. The view was breathtaking. The city stretched in every direction, and Lake Ontario shimmered like glass in the distance. He walked slowly along the glass walls, snapping pictures. He leaned over the transparent floor, took a few dramatic shots of his feet, then found a quiet corner and sat down to enjoy the view. He scrolled through his gallery, checking the photos he had just taken. Then, without thinking much, he stood up, slipped his phone into his pocket, or at least, that's what he thought he did, and walked away. It wasn't until 20 minutes later, while looking for the perfect angle to take a selfie, that he realized his phone was gone. He checked every pocket. Jacket, pants, backpack. Nothing. At first, he thought maybe he'd left it on the bench where he was sitting. He went back to that spot. It was empty. He looked under the seats. He even got down on his knees and checked around the corners. People gave him strange looks, but he didn't care. His heart began to pound. That phone wasn't just a device. It had all his trip photos, his train tickets, his hotel information, even his wallet app. Without it, he felt lost. He asked the staff if anyone had turned in a phone. They shook their heads politely. "You can check with security downstairs," one of them said. So down he went, riding the elevator while trying to stay calm. At the security desk, he described the phone in detail: black case, cracked corner, maple leaf sticker on the back. They hadn't seen it. But they offered to help. One guard walked him back up and helped him search. Together, they retraced every step. They checked the cafe, the washroom, even the gift shop. Nothing. 2 hours passed. Ethan's legs were sore, and his mind raced through every possibility. Had someone picked it up? Was it still hidden somewhere on the observation deck? He asked to check the elevator. The staff allowed it. He looked under the railing, behind the door frame. Still nothing. He finally sat down near the exit, completely drained. A family nearby chatted excitedly about the skyline, but all he could think about was how his entire trip had just changed. Then, something strange happened. A little girl walked by, holding something up in the air like a trophy. It was a phone. She showed it to her father, who examined it. Ethan's eyes locked onto the maple leaf sticker. His heart skipped. He stood up, approached them slowly, and pointed at the phone. The father looked at him, then at the phone, then smiled. "Is this yours?" Ethan nodded, almost too shocked to speak. Apparently, the girl had found it near the base of the coin-operated binoculars. It must have slipped from his pocket when he leaned forward earlier. He thanked them over and over, his voice full of relief. The father just laughed and said, "Glad it found its way back." Ethan walked out of the CN Tower with his phone clutched tightly in his hand, more thankful than ever for the kindness of strangers, and more careful than ever with his pockets. And while you were holding your breath through Ethan's search, your brain was doing something amazing. It was learning. Without even trying, you absorbed useful expressions like, "turned the entire place upside down," "his heart began to pound," "slipped from his pocket," and, "more thankful than ever." These aren't phrases you find in textbooks, they're real, powerful tools for fluent English. That's what makes storytelling so special. You don't memorize. You don't repeat. You experience. You remember. So if you found this story helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to SpeakReal, and turn on notifications. We've got more stories coming your way, and each one will bring you closer to fluency. And now it's your turn. Leave a comment and tell us, have you ever lost something important while traveling? What happened? Did you find it? We'd love to hear your story.